My best friend stole my startup idea, made $50,000 off it, while I was broke, eating microwave noodles and overdrafting my bank account. You ever get that gut punch feeling when something you created, like actually gave life to, gets snatched out from under you? Like, ripped right out of your brain and turned into someone else's little payday? Yeah, that was me, when I found out my best friend made $50,000 off my startup idea. Not millions, not Shark Tank, just enough money to flex on Instagram, upgrade his wardrobe, and move into a minimalist, one-bedroom in a nicer zip code. But it still stings. Bad. Let me give you the backstory. Jake and I were best friends since sophomore year of college. Real ones. Stayed up late watching dumb business YouTube videos, spitballing million-dollar ideas over instant ramen. He was at my place more than his dorm. I trusted him like family, the kind you choose, not the ones who send passive-aggressive Christmas cards. After graduation, I was grinding. Doing DoorDash during the day, freelance work at night, and working on this startup concept that I really believed in. It wasn't flashy, just smart. A marketplace for handmade, custom furniture, built for small creators who were getting buried on Etsy and Amazon. Simple interface, clean design, clear commissions. I called it CraftLink. I made mock-ups, outlined a go-to-market plan, even ran a little survey in a local Facebook group. Guess who I showed everything to? Jake, of course. He was my sounding board. He gave feedback, helped me tweak the vendor onboarding idea, even helped design a rough logo. Said it was low-key genius. He didn't have time to join in officially, he was busy doing freelance marketing gigs, but he seemed genuinely hyped for me. He said, "You should definitely build this. It's got legs." Then life got messy for me. My mom got sick, I had to move back home temporarily and juggle bills. The startup stuff slowed down, not because I quit, but because real life punched me in the throat. A few months go by. I'm scrolling Instagram and I see Jake post this weird reel, him at some tiny startup event holding a stupid novelty check that says, $50,000 pitch competition winner. Caption: hard work pays off. Grateful for the opportunity. I click through, my stomach drops. The pitch? A curated marketplace for local craftspeople to sell custom furniture online. No *****ing way. I dig deeper. He renamed it to AITA, but the layout? Same wireframes. The homepage slogan? Literally copy-pasted from something I'd written in our shared Google Doc. I found a clip of him explaining the vendor experience, word for word what I had pitched to him 6 months earlier. Even the font on the landing page was the same one I picked in Figma. I swear, my brain short-circuited. I called him. He ignored it, then finally hit me back with a casual, "Yo, what's up?" "What's up, bro? You took my entire **************** idea and won $50,000 with it." "That's what's up." We met up. I was heated, but I tried to stay calm. I asked him straight up, "Is this based on the CraftLink stuff we talked about?" He goes, "Well, yeah, but you never really did anything with it." "I just took it and made it real, bro. No hard feelings. No hard feelings." Like I was supposed to be grateful that he made it real. He spun some BS about how ideas are free, and how execution is what counts. I wanted to throw my iced coffee in his smug face. But I just left. I knew I wouldn't win that argument, not without legal backing, which I didn't have. I never trademarked the name. Never filed for an LLC. I was naive, and I got burned. $50,000. That's not life-changing money for most people, but it could have paid off my debt. Helped me breathe, funded a prototype. Instead, he used it to upgrade to a MacBook Pro, post about entrepreneurship, and ghost me completely. He unfollowed me on socials. I haven't heard from him since. I'm back to building, quietly, smarter this time, no shared docs, no collaborators without contracts. I've got something cooking, and no one's getting their grubby hands on it. But still, sometimes I wake up at 3 a.m., replaying everything I said to him. Every file I showed, every sketch I emailed. I wonder if I'll ever trust someone like that again. Maybe the idea wasn't worth billions. But it was mine. It hit me hardest at 2:47 a.m., sitting in my box of a room, surrounded by crumpled ramen wrappers, dust, and the blue glow of my ancient laptop. My bank balance was $6.81. No savings, no backup plan, Just me, my hoodie, a headache, and the distant hum of someone else's success. Meanwhile, Mark, yeah, I'm done calling him Jake or hiding anything, was on Twitter quoting Steve Jobs like he didn't just rob me blind. Don't wait for opportunity. Create it. Shut up, Mark. I felt sick, not from the cold noodles I just ate or the fact that I'd been wearing the same hoodie for 4 days. No, it was deeper. That kind of sick where your chest feels like it's full of wet cement. I let this happen. I let him in. I trusted him. And now he was $50,000 richer, sipping overpriced cold brew, while I was mentally calculating how many packs of eggs I could buy and still afford rent. I opened up my messages. Typed something angry, deleted it, typed something sad, deleted that too, started a voice memo, ranted into my phone for 5 minutes like a psycho, then deleted that too. Eventually I wrote one sentence. I know what you did. I stared at it for a full 5 minutes. And then I deleted it too. Because silence doesn't fix betrayal. And being the bigger person just leaves you smaller in the end. So I threw on my hoodie, stuffed some old sketches and rough drafts into my backpack, and left. I wasn't exactly sure where I was going. My body just kind of took over. Subway, bus, walk, half asleep but fully fueled by that kind of rage-sad combo that makes you do stupid sh*t. Mark's office was one of those trendy startup co-working spaces where people play ping-pong and pretend to be working. I walked past some dude in a Patagonia vest sipping a kale smoothie. Everything smelled like lavender and fake success. I told the receptionist I was here to see Mark. She gave me that, "You're not dressed rich enough to be here," face, but whatever, she buzzed him anyway. Mark came out of a glass meeting room in his cool founder outfit, white sneakers, rolled-up sleeves, and the dumbest smug grin I've ever seen. Like he was expecting me. "Yo," he said, smiling like we were still best buds. "Didn't think I'd see you here. Everything good? Everything good?" I wanted to scream, throw a chair, rip his stupid MacBook in half. But I didn't. I just said, "We need to talk." He led me into some generic-looking room with beanbags and a quote on the wall that said, "Dream big or die trying." I was already mentally gagging. "You stole my ******ing idea," I said, dead serious. He sat down across from me, leaned back like this was just another pitch meeting. "Come on, man, we both talked about that stuff. You said you were shelving it. I just picked it up and ran with it." "You didn't pick it up," I said. "You snatched it from me. You copied the design, the pitch, the goddamn tagline, and entered it like it was yours." He didn't flinch, just shrugged like it was nothing. "I didn't know you still cared. You kinda dropped off, man. Life moves. 50 grand's worth of movement, huh?" He smirked, not even denying it. "Look, it wasn't personal. I figured, if it mattered to you, you would have done something." That hit harder than anything. In his eyes, I didn't matter because I didn't win. I didn't act fast enough. I didn't have the money or energy to launch. So my idea was free game. I didn't even yell, I just picked up my bag and left. Because there was nothing else to say. And honestly, that hurt more than if he had just called me a loser to my face. I walked all the way home. No train, just 3 miles of cold wind and my own thoughts trying to suffocate me. But when I got back, something inside me snapped, in a good way. I opened my closet and found the old blue notebook. It was dusty, bent, some pages stuck together with who knows what. But inside, gold, page after page of ideas, sketches, taglines, dumb product names, broken thoughts that could have been something. Notes written during all-nighters. Doodles done while high on cheap coffee and hope. Mark stole one piece of that. He didn't touch the rest. On one page, I had written in big block letters, "They can't steal what you haven't shown." That sentence hit different now. He took the first idea I gave away too easily. I was open, I trusted, rookie move, but now, no more Google Docs, no more pitching friends, no more collaboration without contracts. If I'm going to build again, and I will, it's going to be bulletproof. Quiet, ruthless, mine, and I'm not doing it to get back at Mark. I'm doing it to prove to myself that I was always the one with the real spark. He just lit his cigarette off it. I didn't wake up the next day with fire in my eyes or some life-changing motivation from a TikTok reel. I woke up because I had a USB stick digging into my back and the whole room smelled like instant noodles, dirty socks, and regret. I lay there staring at the ceiling. Didn't move for like 15 minutes. No messages on my phone. No money, just a bloated notebook on the desk and a cold, greasy air that never really left this place. But I got up anyway. Not because I believed in myself. Just because staying in bed any longer felt like the beginning of the end. I sat down, opened the notebook. Flipped through it, old ideas, doodles, scribbled lists, half-baked plans. Some I didn't even remember writing. Most of it looked ridiculous now. But then I found one that stuck out. Not the CraftLink stuff that Mark hijacked, but something earlier. An idea I thought was too ambitious at the time. A way for small, local businesses to handle their own delivery without having to give 30% cuts to services like Uber Eats or DoorDash. Back then I'd thought, too complicated. Who do I think I am? Now, I had nothing to lose. So I took out a pen, rewrote the core of the idea. Not as a startup pitch. Not for some imaginary investor. Just to do something that made me feel like I wasn't fading. I started binge-watching old YouTube tutorials. React, Firebase, Stripe. Trying to remember how all this stuff worked. I hadn't coded anything serious in months. I felt ancient at 27. My back hurt from this shitty stool. My eyes stung from staring at the screen for too long. But at least I was doing something other than doomscrolling. I picked up a few tiny freelance gigs on the side. Boring landing pages, $35 here, $50 there. Not glamorous, but after one site went live, the guy messaged me, "Hey, thanks, I actually got my first few clients." That message hit me harder than any like or comment ever had. Someone got value out of something I made. Maybe I wasn't completely useless after all. A week later, I started setting up a bare-bones routine. Nothing crazy, just wake up, eat, code, stretch, repeat. Deleted Instagram so I wouldn't have to see Mark's latest conscious productivity nonsense. Left Telegram and email only. Every time I saw him post a new selfie from some co-working event with hashtags like #grindset or #founderlife, I felt physically ill. There were days I wanted to throw it all out. One night I actually deleted the whole project folder. Just gave up. I thought, this is trash, I'm trash, nobody cares. Went outside to buy chips, circled the block, then came back and restored the project from my recycle bin. Better broken code than another wasted day. Money was tight. I was living off boiled eggs, rice, and instant pasta. There was a day I held a few coins in my hand, trying to decide. Do I use this for a metro ride or a bag of noodles? I chose noodles, walked 3 miles, almost cried halfway home, but the weird thing is, somewhere in the middle of all that, I started feeling something again. Not hope, not inspiration, just motion. I was moving, slowly, alone, quietly, but not in circles this time. One night, I passed out on the floor, using my backpack as a pillow. My notebook was lying open beside me. On one of the pages, I'd scribbled, "You don't have to be a hero. Just don't die before the story gets good." No idea where I heard that. Maybe I made it up. But it stuck with me. No dramatic comebacks. Just, keep going. So I kept going. I got the first version of the platform barely working. A buggy MVP, but functional. Janky UI, random crashes, but I could see the bones of it. Most people I told didn't get it. Like Uber Eats, but smaller. Where's the money in that? What if no one uses it? Every sentence was like a gut punch. But I didn't have energy to argue. I just kept building. There was a week where I stopped entirely. Depression hit hard. I barely got out of bed, just binged Twitch and ate dry cereal from the bag. Thought I was done. Then one morning, I got a call from an unknown number. Didn't want to answer. Did anyway. It was the owner of a small coffee shop. "Hey, a friend passed me your number. Said you're working on something for small businesses?" He sounded tired. Said they were getting wrecked by delivery fees. Said he just needed something simple. "Can you help us?" I said, "I can try." And for the first time in weeks, I felt like I had a reason to sit up in my chair. I cleaned up the code. Rebuilt the dashboard. Sat up until 3 a.m. debugging. Made a simple backend for order tracking. Rewatched tutorials again because I forgot how some of this worked. But when I finally sent him the first working version, nothing fancy, just a basic order manager, he replied, "This helps a lot. Thank you. Not, you're a genius. Not, let's go public. Just, thanks. And honestly, that was enough. A month after the first live version of the platform went up, I got my second client. Another coffee shop, this time in a different neighborhood. They'd heard about me from the first one. Word of F******************** ing mouth. I wasn't even promoting it. Just fixing bugs, tweaking the design, making things cleaner, simpler. I added order tracking, improved the mobile layout, made a basic admin panel. Nothing revolutionary, but it worked. Freelance was still my main income, but I found myself wanting to work on my thing more and more. Not because it was my dream, but because it had a face. A real one, like the owner of a tiny bakery who called and asked, "Hey, can customers get an SMS when the courier heads out?" And I'd say, "Yeah. Give me a couple days." One day, I visited a client's place just to see my system in action. A small corner cafe. The barista was checking orders using my interface. The courier waited next to her. People were sitting at tables, chatting, scrolling their phones. Life. I ordered a coffee, sat by the window, watched, and for the first time in a long time, I thought, I made this. This actually exists because I didn't quit. Things moved forward, slowly, quietly, and then I got an email. An old ghost. "Hey, hope you don't ignore this message. It's Mark." My first instinct was to delete it. But of course, I opened it. "I heard you launched your platform. Congrats. Saw a couple of reviews in some local chats. They say it's working smoothly. That's awesome. I was wondering, maybe we could meet? Talk. I've got an idea that might be interesting for both of us." No tricks, just a conversation. If you're not into it, I get it. But I wanted to reach out anyway. I stared at the screen. Blank. He was still saying, "for both of us." Still living in that version of reality where nothing bad ever happened. I marked it unread, didn't delete, didn't reply, just left it there, maybe to remind myself who he is. Maybe because, deep down, part of me was still curious. A few days later, one of my clients told me someone else had approached them, offering a similar service. Cheaper, free trial, sleeker interface, said he was an independent consultant. I didn't panic, didn't spiral, but something inside tightened. I didn't know for sure it was Mark. But the style felt familiar. If it was him, then fine, let's go, because this time, I had more than code. I had trust, real users, feedback, relationships, a quiet, honest story that no one could copy with a prettier pitch deck. One evening, I went out for a walk. No destination, just walking, headphones in, listening to an old playlist. The same one I used to play back when Mark and I stayed up late talking about changing the game. I passed the building where he used to work. Lights on. I thought, for a second, about going in. Just to prove something, but I didn't. I didn't need to close the chapter. It was already closed. I'd finally started living without the constant need to prove anything to anyone. That night, I got home, opened my laptop, looked at my to-do list. Just small stuff. Tweak this, fix that, reply to a client. Then I opened my old notebook, flipped to one of the first pages. If you can't find the light, flip the damn switch yourself. I smiled, probably wrote that during some late-night spiral, and now I was sitting under a working lamp, in a room that smelled not like instant noodles, but freshly brewed coffee. I hadn't made millions, I wasn't famous, but I chose not to give up. And honestly, that turned out to be enough. Oh, and yeah, I started dating someone, kind of randomly, actually. Met her in that same cafe, testing my interface. She was writing an article on her laptop and overheard the barista talking about the new system. We started chatting, first about how everything feels broken, then about memes and cheap coffee. Her name was Lena. She didn't ask me, "How much do you make?" or, "Is this a real startup?" She just listened, asked a few questions, sometimes gave me ideas, but mostly, she was just there. When I'd lose my mind over a bug, she'd sit next to me and say, "All right, let's fix this piece of crap." Being with her didn't make life easier. Just steadier, like, the storm was still out there, but now I had someone to sit through it with. We weren't some Instagram power couple. We argued, got tired, snapped at each other. But she understood that I wasn't building a business. I was building a way to stay myself. And that was everything. One night I told her, "I don't know if any of this will work." She said, Neither do I. But let's find out together. And I thought, that's it. That's the whole thing right there. So yeah, I still don't have an office. Or a team. It's all held together with duct tape, caffeine, and stubbornness. But when I close my laptop, someone's there. Someone who knows where I've been and doesn't ask me to be anyone else. I didn't become someone special. I just stopped being no one. And maybe that's enough. The end? Maybe. But if you'd told me 2 years ago that I'd have my own product, a few real clients, and a girlfriend who debates UX decisions with me while eating cold dumplings, I would have laughed and gone back to boiling noodles. Now, I just put my mug down, look out the window, and think, this is what a life looks like, when no one steals it from you.